All right, hey guys, welcome back. This week we're going to be doing the second of our two sections on grand theories. But I've kind of subtitled this one A Step More Personal. So this week, in a way, represents kind of a transition. So last week we were dealing with very, very much grand theories, like so grand that you almost couldn't see individual humans. Particularly in Talcott Parsons' functionalism, but Nicholas Luhmann's or his general systems theory, there's not a lot of room for individual actors and individual agency. Next week, we go into the sociology of everyday life, where it is going to be very much focused on just our normal going about our day. This week is a little bit of a transition. So what we're going to deal with this week are several different perspectives on how the grand level, the big macro level of society influences different aspects of our everyday life. The critical theorists are going to be the first ones that we're going to deal with. Herbert Marcuse is mentioned in particular, but other big names are Theodor Adorno, Max Horkheimer in particular. Jürgen Habermas, who we'll meet later on this week, is going to be he's going to start out as a critical theorist. The individuals don't matter quite as much, but those are some names that if people throw out, they're worth kind of being able to connect to critical theory. But what they're going to talk about is, in particular, how society influences our thinking. So a very personal experience. They're going to make the argument that particularly with regard to the entertainment culture and mass media, it's going to our authors use the term narcotize, but what we're going to talk about is mainly about distraction. But I mean, that's a personal experience, right? I mean, you will watch these videos and get distracted partway through them and be thinking about other things, which is fine. But what they're doing is saying that experience is something that is created at a societal level, which is kind of an interesting perspective. I personally find the critical theorists to be very compelling. Then we're going to go into spatial analysis, particularly Henri Lefebvre's. That's the one I'm going to focus a little bit more on, which is about the control from capitalism over the way we live our lives in the spaces, the physical geography of how we live. The fact that College of Charleston is a little bit of a different case with regard to this, because Charleston is a fairly walkable city. But for most of the rest of our lives, when we're in big cities, it's about taking cars places. Well, Lefebvre is going to make the argument that that's not a coincidence. That's because our society, our physical geography, has been laid out according to capitalism. It's laid out based on what's best for the oil industry and the automobile industry. So again, connecting big macro societal issues to more personal issues of how we get around on a day-to-day basis. The Civilizing Process by Norbert, I don't think his name is pronounced Elias. I think it's Elias, but I'll probably use it both ways. About our manners and how our manners, the way we conduct ourselves at the dinner table, is based on a long societal evolutionary process for 500 or so years. Jürgen Habermas is going to talk about the way that society controls our communication and our ability to reach consensus decision making, which again, he's talking about you and me coming together to make a decision about something. That's our everyday life. And we're going to finish with Anthony Giddens, who's going to be, I love Anthony Giddens. He wrote about I think he still writes, but about everything from macro evolutionary stuff to an individual's identity. And he's a really good writer. So if you ever are assigned Anthony Giddens to read, it's a good experience. Super erudite, but also a very good communicator. But what he's going to get us into is our mental health, our general anxiety that most people experience, a dread of, is all of this stuff, I know I'm living my everyday life and I'm doing my best, but there are nuclear weapons out there. there's global warming. There's an economy that I could lose my job over that I have no control over. The economy could just tank. That experience of dread, which, sorry, I don't mean to, like, get you dreadful right now, but that experience is something that it's a psychological experience for us. Giddens says, yeah, it is, but it's linked to a sort of a way that we have created society at a grand macroscopic level. So that's going to be the theme of this week. It is grand theories. We're talking about the way society on the whole is functioning, but about how it gets inside of our daily, you wake up at whatever time, you have 16 hours that you're going to be awake, that experience of those 16 hours, the normal everyday things. All right, that's it for the intro. I'll see you in the next video where we'll start talking about critical theory.